Wait, guys, I'm so confused because people on Twitter last week were saying that Rachel Zegler was never going to be in another project ever again after Snow White. And this week, she was cast alongside an Oscar-winning actress, Marissa Tomei, in a comedy drama, She Gets It From Me. That's so crazy. Anyway, our girl is booked and busy. She's getting ready for a play on the West End.
Rachel Zegler's movie set didn't just fall apart, it imploded in front of everyone's eyes. What began as a high-profile, big-budget production meant to relaunch her career ended in absolute mayhem. The production was halfway through filming when everything came to a grinding halt. Not a delay, not a reschedule, a complete and total shutdown. The official studio statement blamed logistical complications, but behind the curtain, the truth was far more disturbing. It all came to a head during what should have been a simple scene, just another day on set. But that day, Rachel exploded. The director gave her routine feedback, basic notes on delivery and timing. She snapped. In front of extras, camera operators, and assistant directors, she lashed out, accused him of trying to ruin her, and stormed off mid-take.
So did you go directly from West Side? Like, did you have to audition for Snow White, or like, oh, they saw you in West Side Story, they're like, you're Snow White?
West Side Story was kind of nowhere near coming out. We were about like 6 months away from release and no footage had been seen. And I actually got a really glowing recommendation from Steven Spielberg to Mark Webb, who directed Snow White, saying,
The cameras were still rolling, her mic was still hot. It wasn't just dramatic, it was career-ending in real time. This wasn't an isolated moment. This was the match that lit a powder keg that had been building for weeks. The set didn't fall apart because of weather, scheduling, or technical failures. It fell apart because Rachel Zegler lost control and there was no one left willing to clean up after her. In the days leading up to the explosion, the tension on set was unbearable. Rachel's attitude had shifted from enthusiastic to dismissive. Crew members noticed the change immediately. She showed up late with coffee in hand, rolled her eyes during table reads, and sighed audibly during rehearsals. At first, people chalked it up to stress. But then, she started ignoring direction altogether, brushing off notes from the director and even challenging the script.
The dumbest things I've said, I don't absolve myself from that. I'm not sitting here being like, I'm 21, please forgive me. Like, the stupid shit I've said and done is stupid shit. But I just want to say, in my personal life, I intend to move forward with a lot more grace for myself.
She insisted on changing lines, not for artistic reasons, but to make the character more like herself. She didn't want to serve the story. She wanted the story to serve her. The situation quickly turned toxic. A makeup artist asked to switch trailers after an uncomfortable exchange. A supporting actor demanded a neutral mediator before filming scenes with her. One production assistant said the set felt like walking into a war zone every morning. No one knew what version of Rachel would show up, the cooperative lead actress or the diva ready to go off.
I'm a narcissist.
And then came the breaking point. During a routine scene, the director calmly gave a note about tone and pacing. Rachel didn't just disagree, she erupted. She accused him of undermining her talent, shouted loud enough for the extras to hear, then stormed off the set and didn't return. Filming stopped immediately. Schedules were thrown out. The crew stood around, unsure whether to pack up or keep waiting. But it was already over. What was once a major opportunity had now turned into a full-blown crisis. The studio had no choice. They halted production indefinitely, and the internal fallout began.
I grow. There is a lot that I don't know, and I won't know it until I learn it, until I feel it, until I understand it, until I can see it in my hands and say, I am not broken. I am just learning. My break is not my end.
The team tried to keep it quiet, but the damage was already bleeding into public view. Whispers turned into leaks. Blogs picked it up. Then came the real shocker. Rachel didn't go quiet. She went online. Instead of letting her PR team take control, Rachel grabbed her phone and lit the match herself. She opened Instagram Live, wearing a hoodie, lounging on her couch, and launched into a sarcastic rant that felt more like a mockery than a statement.
And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part.
Everyone's just ignoring my phone calls. Whatever. It's chill. I don't even care, she said with a smug grin and dramatic eye rolls. Fans watched in real time as she doubled down, not just denying the reports, but mocking them. The comments exploded. Some were shocked. Others begged her to stop, but she wasn't finished. Just hours later, she posted TikToks joking about playing double roles in the film, saying things like, "Double the trouble, am I right?" It was tone deaf, especially after days of rumors that she was the source of the on-set chaos. Her PR team had already drafted a clean, apologetic statement and a plan to move forward quietly. She refused it. "I'm done playing nice," she allegedly told her team. But that decision lit the fuse for a much bigger explosion. The studio's legal department jumped into crisis mode. Her contract included strict clauses about confidentiality, professional conduct, and disparaging the production.
Say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Lawyers began compiling evidence, screenshots of posts, timestamps, internal crew messages, and formal complaints. One assistant's report detailed how she felt genuinely unsafe after Rachel's on-set outburst. The studio wasn't just dealing with a PR problem anymore, it was now a legal liability. Insurance providers began reviewing whether her behavior nullified coverage, which could leave the studio eating millions in losses. Meanwhile, her actions triggered a silent panic across the industry. Casting directors blacklisted her. PR firms quietly dropped her name from client rosters. One brand campaign pulled her from all promotional material without explanation. Her role in a major upcoming romantic comedy? Recast. Not with a press release, but with an updated call sheet and a vague note about scheduling conflicts. By now, the industry wasn't whispering about her, it was watching her crash in real time. But the most brutal part wasn't the media, or the fans, or the lawyers. It was the silence.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Not one co-star defended her. Directors she'd once praised gave cold, distant responses in interviews. People who once called her the future of Hollywood now wouldn't say her name at all. Rachel Zegler had become radioactive, and Hollywood doesn't do second chances without leverage. As Rachel's reputation disintegrated, Hollywood quietly started closing the door behind her. Her name vanished from upcoming casting lists, agencies that once bragged about signing her scrubbed mentions from their websites. A-list actors refused to comment when asked about her. Publicists warned their clients to avoid being photographed with her. It was a full industry freeze-out, and Rachel didn't seem to realize it was happening, at least not at first. Her social media presence became even more erratic. Instead of retreating and regrouping, she kept posting. More sarcastic videos, more vague jabs. At one point, she replied to a fan with, "I guess being honest is a crime now," followed by a laughing emoji. But no one was laughing. Even her most loyal supporters were losing patience. One fan commented, "I want to root for her, but she keeps making it impossible." Another said, "This isn't authenticity, it's self-destruction."
Disney is hosting a Hollywood premiere of Snow White on March 15th, but the studio won't be rolling out a robust red carpet. That's right, the premiere is just, don't tell anybody, they have to do it.
While Rachel spiraled, studios took action. Contract templates for Gen Z talent were revised almost overnight. New behavioral clauses were inserted, strict rules on social media activity, on-set conduct, and PR coordination. Executives no longer saw outspoken stars as bold. They saw them as liabilities. The very traits that once made Rachel marketable, her confidence, her unfiltered opinions, her massive online following, had turned her into a warning sign. Other young actors felt the fallout too. One up-and-coming actress was reportedly told by her team to go silent online for 6 months while they secured her next project. Another had to delete a viral tweet thread criticizing a producer. Right after signing a 3-picture deal, Rachel had changed the rules for everyone, and not in the way she'd imagined. The final blow came quietly. Her comeback movie, the one that was supposed to mark her rebirth as a serious actress, wasn't just paused, it was effectively buried. Behind closed doors, the studio decided to restructure the entire production without her. Legal documents confirmed they were exploring cost-minimizing recast strategies, a sanitized way of saying, she's out. Rachel Zegler wasn't just out of a job, she was out of Hollywood's trust. And that's something no publicist, no apology, and no Instagram Live could fix. In an industry built on second chances, the silence surrounding Rachel wasn't just a pause, it was a full stop. Her downfall became the blueprint for what not to do, and her name, a cautionary tale whispered in back offices and casting rooms, might never appear in the credits again. In an industry obsessed with reinvention, Rachel Zegler's story feels like the kind of fall no one wants to touch.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks.
Comebacks usually follow a pattern: apologies, image rehab, a quiet indie film, maybe a tell-all interview with a sympathetic host. But none of those lifelines have materialized. Why? Because no one wants to offer them. The few journalists who did reach out for comment were met with silence or deflection. Studios aren't defending her. Former co-stars aren't even liking her posts. The usual redemption machine, talk shows, magazine covers, carefully staged paparazzi shots, hasn't started spinning. Because Hollywood only bets on a comeback when it sees potential return. And right now, Rachel's stock is worthless. She's not just losing roles, she's losing relevance. Her name used to trend with excitement. Now it trends with memes and mockery. Every post, every public comment, every sarcastic jab she throws online digs the hole deeper. What started as a bad week on set has turned into a career funeral playing out in real time. And she still hasn't stopped. There's no pivot, no public reflection, no real damage control. Just more TikToks, more passive-aggressive posts, more fans quietly unfollowing. Hollywood watches everything, and what they're seeing now isn't a misunderstood artist. It's a star who lit the match, burned the bridge, and then live-streamed the ashes. The industry has already moved on. Casting calls are going out, new faces are being tested, names are being written into scripts. But not hers. The rom-com that was supposed to reintroduce her, already filming with a new lead. The streaming deal she was negotiating, quietly withdrawn. Even brand deals are vanishing, her face scrubbed from ad campaigns she was once proud of. Rachel Zegler didn't just face backlash, she became the cautionary tale studios use in closed-door meetings. "Don't be a Zegler" is the new warning whispered to rising stars with strong opinions and stronger egos. There's still a chance for her to recover, but it would take something she hasn't shown yet: humility. Until then, Hollywood isn't watching to see if she rises again. It's already focused on the next big thing. And Rachel, she's still online, posting into the silence. And that silence is the loudest message of all.
To everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her.
Hollywood doesn't send formal rejection letters, it doesn't issue public bans, it simply stops calling. The meetings dry up, the offers never arrive. Your name disappears from the conversations that matter. And that's exactly where Rachel Zegler is now. Frozen out, phased out, and fading fast. The biggest tragedy? She still seems to think the spotlight is hers. She posts as if the world is watching, waiting, cheering for a comeback. But the truth is harsher. The audience has moved on. Casting agents have new faces to back. Directors want actors who follow direction, not rewrite it. Studios want bankable names, not unpredictable liabilities. There's no villain behind her fall, no conspiracy. Just a series of bad choices, unchecked ego, and a refusal to read the room. Rachel had the golden ticket, lead roles, public attention, the backing of major studios, and she lit it on fire in front of millions. Her story won't be remembered as the bold rise of a young star. It'll be the industry's favorite cautionary tale. A girl handed the keys to Hollywood who chose chaos over craft, pride over professionalism. She didn't get pushed out. She walked out, burning every bridge on her way. In time, she may try to rebuild. A quiet role here, a low-budget film there, maybe even a redemption arc if someone bets on her again. But it won't be easy. And it won't be soon. Because before Hollywood can forgive, it needs to see change. Real change. So far, Rachel's given it none. For now, she's not the future of anything. She's the warning label. The whispered name, the one that reminds every young actor what happens when you think fame makes you untouchable.
And therefore, it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world.
And that might be the only role left for her to play. But even as her name fades from marquees and casting calls, Rachel Zegler's story isn't just about one actress losing control. It's about an industry recalibrating in real time. Her collapse triggered something much bigger, a deep look at how Hollywood manages its rising stars. Studio heads, legal teams, and publicists are rewriting the rules. Behavioral clauses once considered optional are now non-negotiable. Contracts include explicit bans on unsanctioned live streams, media outbursts, and social media posts that embarrass the production. Managers now build entire strategies around brand containment. And it all leads back to one name. Rachel didn't just sink her own career, she changed the way the industry views young, unfiltered talent. Her rise was fast, but it wasn't built on respect. It was built on buzz. Studios gambled on her popularity, thinking the hype would carry her. But once the camera turned off and the problems began, there was no foundation to stand on. The second things got tough. There was no one left to defend her. Because deep down, no one ever really trusted her. And the ripple effect keeps spreading. Other Gen Z stars are being quietly vetted behind closed doors, not just for talent, but for temperament. Old interviews are being reviewed. Social media is being scrubbed. One studio exec even admitted off the record, "We're not looking for the next big voice. We're looking for the next safe one." That's the legacy Rachel's left behind. Not a performance, not a blockbuster, but a list of don'ts pinned to every agent's desk in Los Angeles. Her name has become a benchmark for bad behavior, a worst-case scenario every publicist is now trained to prevent. She may not have been the first to fall from grace, but she's one of the most public. And in an age where everything lives online forever, her spiral will be studied, referenced, and whispered about long after the final headline fades. Rachel Zegler's career didn't just stall, it became the case study for how fast Hollywood can turn and how unforgiving it is when the cameras stop and the drama begins.